Number 24. A section of a hiking trail begins at the coordinates -7, 5 and follows a straight path that ends at the coordinates 3, 9. What is the rate of change of the hiking trail? So the first thing that we need to see is that the important words here are the words rate of change. That means how quickly something is moving over a period of time. In Algebra 1, rate of change means slope. So what we need to do is figure out the slope between those 2 points. So there's 2 things that we can do. We can either count the slope or we can calculate the slope between those 2 points. I'm going to show you both. First, what we have to remember is that slope is a fraction, just like you see with your multiple choice answers. And that fraction we remember by the phrase rise over run. And those 2 words are going to get replaced with number values here in a second. So what we're going to do is I've already plotted these 2 points for you. We need to move from one point to the next, and we need to count how far we move up and how far we move over. And those numbers are what are going to go into our fraction. So if we start at the first point, -7, 5, if we start here and count up, we move up 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how far we rise. So that's the number that's going to go in the top of our fraction. The run is how far we move over. So if we count those values, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That number goes in the denominator. But what we don't see is we don't see that answer in our multiple choice answers. So what we need to do is reduce that fraction. No matter what, slope is always reduced. And what that means is that we need to find a number that goes into both 4 and 10. The largest number that goes into both 4 and 10 is a 2. So I'm going to divide a 4 by 2, and I'm going to divide 10 by 2. And when we do, we get 2 over 5, which means that B is going to be our answer. Now, in case you don't have a graph in front of you, or in case you're afraid that you're going to count wrong if you do plot the points, let me refresh your memory on how to use the slope formula. So here's the slope formula. It's something that you want to try and commit to memory if you haven't already. The slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And those little 2's and those little 1's, they just mean which point you're using. So if you want to label your points, it doesn't matter which one happens first or which one happens second. Your first point, you're going to label your x value x1 and your y value y1. That's just saying that -7 is the x value of your first point and the 5 is the y value of your first point. On your second point, that's now going to be x2 and y2. That's saying that the 3 is the x value of your second point and the 9 is the y value of your second point. And all we have to do is just plug those straight into our formula. Our y2 is the 9, our y1 is the 5, and we make sure that we put subtraction between the 2. Then our fraction bar, our x2 is the 3, and our x1 is the -7. Now don't forget here you're subtracting a -7, which really means adding. So here we go again. 9 minus 5 gives us the 4, and this is really 3 plus 7, which is a 10, and we're left with that fraction that we already reduced, but to refresh your memory, we're going to divide both by 2, and we get 2/5, which again gives us B as our final answer.